we talked about a travel trailer.
Uh-huh.
We didn't know which one, what it would look like. We had no idea.
But we always had our eyes drawn to one particular travel trailer.
We preferred the Airstream, but we kept looking for, other options.
Yeah. And long story short, I think on our travel trailer search is we ended up narrowing down possible selections to two. We had our eyes on a Lance model, and it was one that came out about 2 years ago. It was a no slide model, but it had a layout that was similar to what we've been seeing in the Airstreams.
Yeah. We found it in a local dealership, got in the Lance, and realized it just wasn't for us.
Well, we thought it was going to be too small based on how we intended
tight.
to use it. Yeah, it was going to be tight. We had the option of a brand new Lance, and it turned out that the model of an Airstream that we had our eyes on and that we were most interested in, a 27-footer, there was one that came up on the used market from a very reputable reseller of used Airstreams, and the price point for the used Airstream was just $5,000 more than the new Lance.
Uh-huh.
And given the price was so close, and we knew we weren't going to be able to afford a brand new Airstream, that wasn't in our budget, we said, let's go with the Airstream. So
I said, let's go with the Airstream.
Oh.
You were like, oh my gosh. You were nervous. I was nervous, but...
Well, because it's a big commitment. Yeah. It's a financial commitment.
Huge.
And this is something we've never done before.
Yeah, and we knew buying it used that there was going to be certain things that we were going to have to do to it.
Well, yeah, so related to that, one of the things, before we ever bought anything, we had been listening to a lot of podcasts about RVs, and at least it got put in my head that even if we were going to get something brand new, the expectation would be that things are going to go wrong with your travel trailer. That no trailer is perfect.
Yeah.
And things are going to break.
Yeah, but used, you're going to walk into things that you have to fix.
Yeah, but also
and
used...
We knew that.
Some people might think that the prior owner may have taken care of the initial things that go wrong.
Sure.
Yeah.
We did buy from a professional reseller that did go through the unit thoroughly. So that was nice too, because we were able to identify if there was problems, and there really wasn't.
Yeah, and he specialized in Airstream, so that's all he sells. So that made us feel better too.
Yeah.
But we expected that as we went down our Airstream journey, there were things that we were going to have to take care of. And so this video is going to recap the things that we've done in our first 2 years of owning an Airstream. Mm-hmm. So hopefully this is helpful for somebody who's thinking about getting an Airstream, I guess, be it either new or used, as an example of, in a few years of ownership, some of the things that you may come across that you may have to deal with.
For those of you that have not been following us, we do have a 2014 International Signature Airstream.
27-footer.
27-foot with the bedroom in the front.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick peek to let you know the things that we've done over the 2 years that we've owned our Airstream, so you can get a sense of what going down the travel trailer ownership route might look like for you.
Mm-hmm. And it will look a little different for everybody. When we bought ours, we were extremely lucky because the person that owned it before was the only owner, and they barely used it. I mean, it hardly even used it, so that was a nice plus for us.
Yeah, when we walked into this unit, it felt brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look at our first trip to get our first batch of maintenance done on the Airstream.
We're here at Vinnie's Northbay Airstream. We got here and the jack stopped working, so we need a switch for the jack, a new switch for the jack, he believes. We have an issue with the city water intake here, and he believes that there's a gasket or something here, easy fix. So he's going to be replacing that gasket. Hopefully that's the only problem that there is, but he'll look further. And we have tires that are called Maypops. There's a reason for that. They're made in China and they tend to pop. So we're gonna get the tires replaced to a 16-inch Michelin tire. They look beautiful, by the way. I really like them. So we'll get all 4 tires replaced and get a spare. Okay, we're gonna get the screen door insulation replaced. As long as it's missing or torn or broken and it's just old, so that'll be replaced. And we're gonna get the porch light fixed. It doesn't light up, so it's probably just a bulb, so we'll replace that. My boo-boo to the drawer down here needs to be fixed, so he's gonna fix that so the bottom is not falling out anymore. You can't use it. Find some solution for sealing the sink because it tends to, if you get water here, it leaks down into the bottom. Fix this drawers here under the sink. And he suggested putting one of those baby latches that kind of U around and lock on whenever you travel. So that keeps the drawers from flinging open and breaking. He'll be fixing the stovetop. There's a disconnected wire here, which is a problem why it wasn't actually lighting because there was no electronic ignition on it. So he'll fix that and kind of adjust it so it works better. We have the screen that's popping out here. I tried to fix it once and I couldn't get it done. So he's just gonna like put that back in and fix it and make it so there's no buggies can get in. We had a learning experience on the propane for the refrigerator and why it was making the clicking sound. So whenever you turn the propane on for the refrigerator, first you have to prime the lines. So the gas, you don't have air coming into the refrigerator. When the air comes into the refrigerator, it'll just make that clicking noise over and over and over again. So priming the lines. Fixing this door, there's a latch that's broken on it. So he's going to kind of shave off this area here so this is not so hard to move up and down. You know, the nature of the Airstream is it's very curved. So when they put this on, it didn't lay as well as it should have, so he'll fix that up to make it just a little bit easier. And we have a missing rivet, but he'll probably look over everything and make sure that there's no missing rivets in any other spot. He's gonna go up top and look at all the seals for everything that is up there, make sure that it's sealed properly, clean it up, get rid of any old stuff and reseal it so we don't have any leakage problems later down the line. We're also getting the DirecTV satellite removed. We don't have to worry about that. We will never use it. All right, so we're off. We're gonna leave Arian here with Vinnie, and he's given us about a 3-week window. So he's looking at maybe we pick it up in 3 weeks. Yay.
We'll be back. Not broken anymore.
Not broken. Very tight. Yeah, much better.
Do better? Okay.
Look at those tires.
I know, they look great.
Awesome.
Clean machine?
I forget the whole list, so I'm like,
Yeah.
oh look, and this is all redone here, the foam. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, better?
Much better.
Yeah. Porch light works now, yay! We had heard about Vinnie Lamica and his Northbay Airstream shop on some other YouTubes that we follow. Felt very, very good about his specialization in Airstreams. So given that we live in the same state, even though he's about an 8-hour drive from where we live, we've gone up to Vinnie's shop twice for service on our Airstream. So that first trip, the things that we mentioned in the clips that you just saw, everything was taken care of and everything was done fantastically well. We drove our Airstream up one weekend, and 3 weeks later we were able to make the drive back up and get the first batch of fixes on the Airstream taken care of.
Yeah, I highly recommend that you have a written list of things you want fixed for wherever you take it to, because I think that helps get through the process a little bit faster, because you don't got more phone calls going back and forth, and it was very helpful. I know Vinny really appreciated it.
Yeah. So I would think for Airstream owners in particular, and I'm just going to put that out because that's our experience, for somebody who's buying a used Airstream, I think one of the things that worked out for us is we took our unit out on a few trips. We got some miles behind it. And as we were using it, we started to make a list of the things that we wanted addressed. Right. Some of them were little. It could have been
weather stripping on the screen,
latch on a closet door.
Mm-hmm. Very little things, minor.
Some were a little more intensive. We found we happened to break a cabinet, so that required a little bit more attention. But we didn't have anything major. But we did have over a dozen items that we wanted addressed.
Yeah.
So keeping a log of those is helpful. And then if you find a reputable service place, then go there with your list and then have those things addressed, and then you'll get your Airstream back or your whatever travel trailer you're using and have it work for you based on how you've used it in at least the few probably months or year of buying your unit. After we had the initial batch of things fixed for our Airstream, we had just a wonderful unit. We've been using it probably at least once every 2 months to 3 months on average. We found that when we were camping at full hookup sites, everything was fine. We had an encounter, basically the very first time that we ever dry camped, where we found out that the way we wanted to camp in the Airstream, the battery power that we had was not sufficient enough. We had one experience at El Capitan State Beach in California where within our first 24 hours, our battery was drained. And we knew that we wanted to do dry camping in the future. We wanted to be able to do the boondocking experience. And in order to do that and not go totally minimalistic on any energy usage, we knew that we had to upgrade our power. Mm-hmm. What we had with the Airstream was the original battery. So we had 2 dry cell batteries. I think they were about as low power as they sell.
We ended up, after that incident, replacing the dry cells, but we kept the original setup. Yeah. And we had 1 solar panel, which was just minimal.
Yeah, it was 125 watts.
Yeah.
And I think it was just supposed to be just enough to have almost like a trickle type charge for the dry cell battery. Not enough for any serious boondocking. So we made the decision to upgrade our power, and what we ended up deciding upon was to go from the dry cells to lithiums, and we would go with 3 lithium batteries.
So since it's Bluetooth, you just have to be near the trailer. You don't have to be in it.
Okay.
And your smart solar is going to give you information about what's coming in.
So this is the monitor, this is solar. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so currently the batteries are sitting at 13.52 volts. And it says since the battery is fully charged at 13.2 volts, it's saying that based on this, it's infinite. The batteries can be forever, right? Because there's 0 draw. Now watch when I wake the trailer up. I'm going to turn this switch on. Did you see what just happened?
Yeah, immediately. Yep.
We're pulling 0.3, 0.7. That's your LP detector. And your stereo just came on. A couple little small consumers. Okay. Now watch that number. I'm gonna turn a light on. See what happened?
Yep.
Consuming.
Yep.
So the solar is the panels are all frosted over. They're really not doing anything yet. Plus your angle of your sun is way over there. Yeah. And it really needs to be over the panels. Kind of over the panels. When it's like that, you'll get voltage, but you won't get the amperage going through it. So we'll wake it back up. If I'm to plug into shore power with our new converter charger, then you'll see this number go way up in amperage in the positive. It'll go 26 amps, 30 amps, whatever it needs to do.
Okay.
When the batteries get to 100, it's going to shut it off. The batteries are the master.
Automatically. Okay.
So when the batteries get full, they have
It shuts
each
off.
individual Battleborn has its own battery management system in it. And it says, well, I'm full, just like filling a bucket of water.
So they'll,
When the water gets to the
shut
top,
off.
it's going to shut off the
Yeah.
spigot.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to do to the converter charger and the solar. So really all you care about is what that state of charge number is. So you have 300 amp hours, and it's telling you 10 days.
I noticed
that's
that.
if we were on whatever we were using.
Just the
at
way it
moment.
is. But as the sun comes up, that's going to read infinite
Okay.
Okay.
because it's going to
Okay.
see that we're way above it.
All right.
The lithium batteries that we have, I believe, give us a total of 300 amp hours. And my understanding of the way the lithiums work is if you had something comparable in a regular cell battery, you would need 600 amp hours of regular batteries because you can only deplete a regular battery to half of its discharge before you start to take that battery into its possible point of no return. So we have 300 amp hours of lithium, and then we ended up getting 6 additional solar panels. So we have 750 watts of solar available to us.
Which is way more than we probably need, but
But that's going to give us the confidence when we go out boondocking that we don't have to not use the LEDs and lights, etc. in the Airstream, and instead walk around with a lantern like this, which we had to do before we had the power upgrade when we were boondocking, just to make sure we didn't further drain our battery. So we had a second trip up to Vinnie's just a couple of months ago, and he turned that around for us. And it's interesting because now on the Airstream, we used to have a monitor that sat over the refrigerator where we could go and look at what the power situation was with our regular batteries. That's all gone, and now all the monitoring is over our iPhones.
yeah, there's an app.
Yeah, so we
Everything
have
has an app.
we have a Bluetooth connection. We can, and it's got lots of details on how the power is being used on the Airstream. And it's almost all the time showing for us, and it's not exactly infinite, but the reading is infinite, which means that the charge is plentiful enough where we could be boondocking and use almost anything we want, other than we're not going to be using the microwave, we're not going to be running an air conditioner on solar power, but we can use anything else in here. We can run the fantastic fans, we can run the lights. And when we boondock, we'll probably still bring a generator with us.
Yeah,
just
right.
for that
Just
extra
in case,
support.
yeah.
We store our trailer in an indoor storage facility, and
Yeah.
I do that.
we've had
So I have
like
put a
manual
master kill up there. Did
yeah.
you see it?
No.
And you can reach it from inside the bed. So I wanted to do that because solar will pull your batteries down when
Okay.
it's seeking and
Oh,
can't
okay.
find it.
Right.
Okay.
So do you see that big red knob up there? Way down there?
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to kill that. And you can do that from inside the
The
coach
bed.
if you lift the bed.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
rotate it up. You have so much solar.
Okay.
So much.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to park someplace where the sun can get to it. Otherwise,
Right.
you're going to
Yeah.
need a generator.
Yeah.
And ambient light won't do it. It's
Yeah.
got to be direct
Direct.
sunlight.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be light out, but it's not getting to the panels. It'll give you a voltage, but it won't give you any amperage.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
We
pretty high-tech stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
okay.
It's a nice investment on the trailer.
Yeah.
And if we have to tweak anything next time I see you,
Okay.
or play with any numbers, or adjust something, I will. But
Okay.
it's a great system.
On the last trip, Vinny also had to figure out a water leak situation. It was within the gray tank. We had noticed it when we went to Death Valley, and we had hookups. But as soon as the tank got to a certain level, all the spillage started coming over. My understanding was the spillage was happening all the time into the what would you call it?
There's like a tray
Yeah,
that covers the tank.
There's a cover over the tanks that protects the tanks, and that once that got full, it started leaking out. So it was quite a huge amount of water for a leak, and that was a concern for us because we were hoping that we wouldn't have to replace the tank. which is quite a job. Turns out that Vinnie Lamica had made some phone calls and used a marine type sealer that they use on boats within the water. And so far on this trip, we've been using the water quite frequently. No leak.
Yeah, this is our second trip since coming back from Vinnie. So far, so good. I think all of us, including Vinnie, we have our fingers crossed because this is the first time he's used that solution.
Yeah.
This is the stuff.
Water well. Okay, super.
It's a putty, and you knead it until it mixes, and then you clean it really good, scuff it up. It's just at a stress point.
Okay.
It's a round tube that's joined into a tank like
Yeah.
this. So it's at a stress point at the top.
Okay. Was the crack, was it kind of like a hairline type of
Hairline
thing?
crack,
or-
very small, but just enough to start to puddle in the pan
Yeah.
and then drip out.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the deal.
But he was pretty comfortable that solution was going to work. Fingers crossed that it does, and if it does, we're good to go. And we know that if something fails with that, we'll be back up to Vinnie's to get a tank replacement.
Yeah, probably.
But hopefully this turns out okay.
Before this trip, we ended up getting airbags installed on our truck to help with a few things, dialing in the sweet spot on how much to fill those with. So it looks like on this trip, getting all level and compensating for the amount of stuff that we have in the back. We'll be usually filling those up with 11 pounds, and we got those put on at Les Schwab tires. And it looks like on these Airstreams, it's also helpful to have that because it helps with alleviating pressure on the back of the this back compartment, which otherwise can start to develop some cracking. So the airbags are supposed to help with that too.
Yeah, that's great.
Perfect. So now you are free to do what you want with the truck. If you want to add a huge thing of water or whatever to bring with you, load it up with whatever, you just play with the bags.
Okay.
So you set the bags to 11 pounds. Usually it's between that and 30 pounds, no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
So the more weight you put in, it's going to increase the load on the bags,
Right.
and they're going to adjust a little bit. But
Okay.
if it's starting to sag,
Yeah.
then you just add
More.
PSI
Got
to
it.
the bags.
Okay.
Okay.
But 11 is your sweet spot.
Okay. Awesome.
And man, it looks fantastic. And it's going to tow better. So on your way home, you're going to feel the ride just feels, because we're equalizing the truck's asked to do a little bit more, and we're not over rigging those swing bars. You know, for that front compartment.
All right.
It's going to ride nice.
Awesome.
Super. All right, so leaving Vinnie's with 735 watts of solar on the roof, 300 amp hours of lithium batteries. I know we are in a much better position to boondock than we've ever been before. Looking forward to taking our Airstream out this summer, this camping season, and doing more with her than we've been able to do before. And fantastic work again on our Airstream at Vinnie's Northbay Airstream Repair. Always worth the drive.
So that's a glimpse into what it's been like for us owning an Airstream for 2 years. We thought it might be helpful to give an overview of the types of things that you might have to address, especially if you buy a used unit. These are at least the things that happened with us. We've been, very, very pleased with the purchase.
Absolutely.
And I think, knowing everything that we've gone through and thinking back on this whole journey, if we had to do it again and the same opportunity came up, the same type of model, same price point, etc., with the same issues, I would jump at it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we've been thrilled with the Airstream, and it's just been wonderful to get out and do camping this way after years and years, decades of tenting. Yeah. So this has been a nice change. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you if you're thinking about going down the used trailer route. And if it is, give us a like on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate you watching.
And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We'd love to get them from you.
And with that, we'll see you
At the places where we go.